I minimized it. Sorry.
It's okay. We got this.
Totally. Welcome to my sewing room on a suddenly downpourish Thursday afternoon.
It's very wet out there.
Yes, so we're here in Calgary. My name's Leah.
I'm Chelsea.
And we are here today to talk to you about some basic threads you probably should have in your sewing room for just kind of general use. So we're going to run through kind of our top selling standard threads. So these wouldn't be in the embroidery category. These would all be more traditional sewing threads.
Yeah. I think I have almost every one of these threads at home right now.
I do.
They all have their own
I don't have all the
specific
colors.
uses.
I don't have all the colors.
I definitely don't have all the colors, but all of them are very helpful.
Sweet.
I need more colors.
But then you need to pick thread based on the projects you're doing.
Yes, and that's how we collect more and more and more.
It breeds when you're not looking.
It's like gremlins, you know, you get it wet, it multiplies.
Yes. So we're going to start with all-purpose polyester thread. All-purpose polyester thread is your basic go-to sewing thread if you need to mend anything, or you're making a garment, or you're sewing home decor. Maybe you're making an apron. So it's generally going to be pretty happy in the middle size range of needles, like an 80-12 or a 90-14, and you're going to match your needle type to your fabric when you're using this thread. So we have two thread lines that fall into this category. One of them is Mettler Metro Seam. I'm going to toss that onto the close-up cam. We've got Mettler Metro Seam coming in 100 meter spools and 500 meter spools. So if you know you're going to go through lots of white, you're going to come pick up one of those bigger spools. And if you just need a tiny little bit of that purple for you're making a kid-sized garment, you might just buy one single spool of the smaller ones.
It's also really good for rope bowls.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And the 500 meter spools is where I would go if I was making a bunch of rope bowls.
Right, because then you have lots and lots of thread. If you're running one of the machines that has the much bigger bobbins, like the Bernina B9 bobbins, you should almost always buy two of the 100 meter spools because you will use almost an entire spool, fill in one bobbin.
Well, and then you know when you need more thread when you need more bobbin thread.
Because the top and the bobbin will run out like at the same time.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's awesome. So all-purpose polyester, the Wonderfill is lovely, or the Metro Seam is lovely. The other option is Designer from Wonderfill. And usually between the two, I pick based on color. So they both will handle about the same. You could use both on a serger and in your sewing machine. But the Designer color range is a little bit different. So the Designer comes on 1,000 meter spools, and it's a little more affordable. But it's all lovely thread.
Well, and sometimes you don't need a massive spool like this if you're, say, hemming that one pair of pants that's teal.
Yeah. So then it doesn't really make sense.
Then I would go for this little guy because I don't need 1,000 meters of teal sometimes.
It's true.
But black?
I want 1,000 meters.
I want 1,000 meters.
Always.
Because you can always use up 1,000 meters of black. Oops. Needles.
Right? So to marry these particular threads to needles, you're going to be looking at the type of fabric you're running. If you're going to be sewing a whole variety of fabrics and you're not entirely sure what, but you just need some thread at home to have on hand, you're probably going to start with some universal needles, and you might even start with a mixed pack with a variety of sizes. So mixed pack will have sizes 70 through 90 in the metric sizing, or 10 through 16. 70 through 100.
Yep,
So we've got
70
some
through 100.
skinny little ones and some much bigger ones.
These ones are beefy.
Yes. And probably for the most part, you'll be sticking in that middle range of 80-12, 90-14 for most sewing applications.
I buy this package. The nice big pack with 10 of them.
Yeah, all the same size.
Mostly because I break a lot of needles some days.
Oh, you might need to be watching your spool caps on your machine.
Mostly while I'm in the studio, to be honest.
Well, there's a camera running. It's very nerve-wracking.
My needle gets scared of cameras, okay?
Oh, totally. I get it. If you're going to be working with more delicate fabrics like silks or satins, you might want to be switching to a microtex needle with a really sharp point. Again, 80-12, 90-14 will be appropriate for this thread. And then if you're doing things like working with knits, so you're making a t-shirt or you're mending your knitwear, you might want to be switching to a jersey or a stretch needle. And those ones come in a slightly different range of sizes. There's 7511, 8012, 9014. And again, some mixed packs available in our Spets lineup for those. So your basic all-purpose thread, just good to have on hand for all those things that your machine can do that maybe you bought it only to quilt, but you have pants that need hemming. Good to have on hand.
I always need to hem my pants.
I never need to hem my pants. They're all looking at a blank screen right now.
Yes, they are, because I rolled our friends out of there.
Okay. So basic threads, all sorts of other needle types will be appropriate depending what you're doing. So you're going to start paying attention more to the needle type, but that basic size range, 80, 12, 90, 14 is going to do the trick. The other thing we do a whole lot of around here is quilting, and specifically piecing quilts.
Yes.
Some people finish quilts faster than I do.
But we don't all get stopped on borders.
I get stopped on borders. I know my downfall.
Don't worry, I get stopped on quilting.
Quite happy to quilt once I have the border on. So we've got a couple different options for piecing your quilts, and usually people piece their quilts with cotton thread. It's not going to wear in the seam as hard as a polyester will. The polyester is a whole lot stronger and will hold up to the wear and tear of wearing pants, which we don't need in a quilting seam. So we're going to stick with cotton thread usually to piece our quilts. And if you were doing something like a microwave bowl cozy, you would also need to stick with cotton thread in that case.
Yeah, because we don't want to have many fires in our microwave.
Yeah, polyester will light on fire in the microwave.
It will also melt.
It'll be bad. It'll smell awful.
I heard when you do bowl cozies, you also want to make sure you don't get any food on them, and if you do, wash it.
Yeah.
Because that will light on fire.
Yes. That all makes sense.
Been doing my research. Obviously, I need some bowl cozies in my life.
Yes.
And cotton thread.
Yeah. So for cotton thread, we're going to slide some of this in frame. Percentia thread is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The gray spools are a 50 weight, so that's kind of the standard weight. And we have those in the 500 meter spools and 100 meter spools.
Nope.
Which is, we didn't bring any of the 100 meter spools back with us.
No, we did not.
I grabbed all sorts of other things. And we also have it slightly thinner in the 60 weight.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah, so the 60 weight will take up a little less space in your seams and your blocks will press flatter with a thinner thread in them. We can also get that 60 weight Percentia in cone form.
There we go.
So if you want to be ready to sew at your cabin for the entire summer and not have to worry about coming back for thread, you're going to pick up a cone of Percentia.
I think it's 5,000 meters.
It might be stickered on the inside of the spooler.
Oh, okay. It does not say.
It's a big number.
It's a lot of thread. I know that. There's one girl that works here who always buys these. Yeah. I think she buys about one a year.
Yeah.
She goes through a lot of thread.
Yeah. It's fabulous. So you could go any way with that Percentia thread and get the size that you need. So
it's great stuff.
There's lots of colors. It's quite sweet. And then we also have from Wonderfill Confetti, which is a similar it runs a little bit thicker than the 50 weight Percentia. But again, color range is quite different between Confetti and Percentia. So if you're trying to match color more carefully with a project, Confetti might do a better job just color wise than your Percentia. Mm-hmm. And again, it runs just a little bit thicker. Yeah. In it. So for this type of thread, for the most part, the Percentia is going to be happy in an 80-12 or 90-14 needle. And usually with piecing my quilts, I stick with Microtex needles because I've got a nice sharp point that'll get through batiks and some of the tighter weaves with some of the silkscreen printing that happens. So your nice quilting cottons will be very happy with a Microtex needle in one of those two sizes.
I should probably start using these ones.
Potentially.
That's probably a really good idea.
Yeah. The exception to the kind of size range working for both types of thread in the category. Confetti runs just a little bit thicker, and almost all the time it's going to be much happier in a 9014 needle. And again, that could be a Microtex if you're piecing, or a universal. But running a slightly bigger needle with confetti will make for a happier stitch with that thread.
We like happy stitches.
We like happy stitches. So overall, that's the 4 basics we have in store that could be in your arsenal of thread. Oh, right.
I just realized we ran out of thread.
So that would be basics. And once you kind of find a thread in this lineup that you like, it's pretty easy to switch between colors in there and just come pick up the next spool in the next color. Mm-hmm. But just know that there are options if you're not finding those color variations you need within the one thread line. There's a friend in a different brand.
Yeah. Because who doesn't need a friend?
You need friends. So yeah, having some of this on hand will be great all the time. That's all of it. So you never have too much thread.
I learned more about thread and needles today.
I love learning about thread and needles.
Me too, because I like it when my sewing machine's happy.
I like it when I'm happy. And I'm happy when my sewing machine's happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want troubles. We don't want skip stitches. We don't want thread mess.
Yeah.
We don't want any of that. So
finding the right needle thread combination can be incredibly, incredibly helpful. Beyond that, there's many other types of needles. Depending on what you want to do, there might be a better needle for the job. And a great place to look for needle resources is Schmetz's website. So Schmetz. It's probably schmetz.com. I'm not going to quote them.
I want to say that's it, but I'm also not going to quote it.
Yeah. So,
might be on this package. Schmetzneedles.com.
Schmetzneedles.com.
You were so close.
So close.
It's right here.
And the other really nice thing about these needles is they're coming with color coding on them.
Oh, yes.
Because if you're like me and your eyes are not as sharp as they used to be, sometimes it's really hard to see the little tiny stamped numbers on the needles that tell you what size they are. So instead you can look at the color bands to match up the size and the type. So you know you're putting the appropriate needle in the appropriate fabric.
If we look at this one, the orange band at the top is denoting that it's a jersey ballpoint needle. And then the band below that does the size. So I call that teal is for a 9014. And over here, the 8012, it's that kind of orange again.
Yeah.
Cool.
So much easier to figure out what you've got going on.
So much easier to not forget what needle's in your machine.
Right? And as always, if you don't know what needle's in your machine and you don't know when you changed it last,
just change it.
Just change it. Put a new needle in. Your machine will be happier with a new needle because they don't last forever.
They don't. They last about 8 hours of sewing time.
Yeah. And that's not 8 hours in your sewing room because I cut fabric, I iron fabric, I stitch rip. I watch the internet, watch my sewing room on YouTube.
Stare out the window.
Yeah. Feed the dog, pet the cat.
It's your machine doing
laundry
for 8 hours.
Actual stitching time on your machine is what you're looking for. So if you're not sure when you replaced a needle, beginning of a new project is a great time to start. So if you're piecing a small quilt at the beginning of the piecing, and again, a new needle when you go to quilt that quilt, and you'll be much better covered. If you're hemming a bunch of pants, you're going to have to play it by ear because it'll depend what you're doing, how long that needle's going to last.
True.
So I hear there's some other things we should tell everybody who's watching today. There's some changes.
Yes. There are some Facebook Live changes coming up starting next week.
Mm-hmm.
So check your e-news. That will be coming out to you tomorrow. There will be a schedule in there for next week. Whew. I got to make a cute schedule. I was having fun.
I saw a preview. It's adorable. Can I show this poster though?
Yes, this starts Monday. So this Monday, coming the 6th,
yep.
6th, we're starting a new kind of fun, kind of a spin-off of Canada AM. But we're doing Monday AM with Chelsea and Sandy, or
nice.
Sandy and Chelsea. And we're going to have some fun, do some demos. It's going to be great.
And we're moving the time around a little bit.
Yes, so Monday AM, of course, is AM does not work at 4:15 p.m. So that one will be at 10:30 a.m.
Which is fabulous.
So you'll be seeing a weekly schedule coming out in your e-newses.
And if you're not getting your e-news and you were, it might have slipped into your junk folder. So you might want to go find it there and hit Safe Sender and get us out of your junk. Because the internet decided that might be a thing.
Yes.
So if you're not getting it, that's maybe where it is. If not, you can sign up online to get the e-news at mysewingroom.ca.
Bottom right-hand corner of the web browser. If you're on a computer.
And when you do the sign up for the email newsletter, you can put your birthday in and get a birthday coupon.
Because who doesn't want a birthday coupon?
So we'll send you a coupon the week-ish of your birthday. And it's valid for a week. So if it doesn't work to come on the day of your birthday because your family's planned a fabulous thing for you, we get it. Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes we have some things to do on our birthdays.
Yes. So you got to work around those things. And so we've given you a little bit more time around that. And then you can come and get yourself a birthday present of your own choosing, which is my favorite.
What would you choose for your birthday present?
I'm itching to make a summer dress right now. So probably fabric, actually.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Fabric's always a good one.
Yes.
That's what I would pick too.
But I need a fair bit of fabric if I want the dress I want to make. So
when you need it in a continuous cut.
Yeah, so I need like 4 meters probably. So I do all the things I want to do.
Well, because you're so tall.
It's true. I'm a little curvy.
I need a little bit of a shorter skirt.
Yes.
About like 6-8 inches.
Well, I like my skirts long too. I like them like past my knee. So
Oh, yes.
yeah.
How about above knee? Maybe we'll change that difference to about 2 feet of skirt.
Yeah. It'll be the right amount of skirt for both of us when we make
Yes.
one. So yeah, that might be on my list this year. But sometimes
That's a good one.
new tools sometimes is what I like to buy myself for my birthday. Like the scissors that I wouldn't just go buy otherwise.
You know, I think my favorite Christmas gift has been a wooden seam ripper.
Ooh, those are lovely.
I find them very comfortable. And it makes me feel better about having to rip out my mistakes.
If you're working with a pretty seam ripper.
Yes.
Totally.
And it has a nice weight. It's sharp.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Sweet. That's a solid choice.
Definitely a birthday present I picked one year.
Nice. I love it. Anything else we should tell the lovely people?
We have an exciting presentation tomorrow.
Yep.
And there's still time to register.
Yes, so we're Rob from Trend Texas back. He did a presentation for us a while back on fabric in general, and he's doing a presentation on batting tomorrow.
And backing.
Batting and backing, which is sometimes a mystery. Like, what is the difference between all the different types of batting?
Right? There's batting with scrim, there's batting without, there's 80-20, there's different weights.
There's
What?
what? Why would you want any of these?
Why would you? And which one do you use for a bowl cozy?
Right? So you can get signed up online at mysewingroom.ca. Click the calendar and you can click on tomorrow's event and it'll take you right to the option to sign up. You'll need to make an account so you can, actually purchase the class. And then we still have space in store
And online.
and online. So we're doing it via Zoom if you can't get here for 10 tomorrow morning.
Because sometimes we decide we want to go the day before and we live 3 hours away.
That's true.
It totally happens.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know what you're doing at the end of the week until the end of the week.
So, still space.
Yep.
It's exciting. I get to watch.
I know. It'll be lots of
Good
fun.
day.
So that's what we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us and have fun buying your go-to threads.
Well, we just need to make them all friends.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes. Take care, everybody.
Bye.